In our today's episode, you will learn everything you need to know about
how to welcome or greet and seat guest. Why welcoming guest is important. It is said that first impression is the last impression. If you, as an hotelier or restaurateur, really want to make a very positive impression on guests' mind, you should really handle greeting and seating of a guest very professionally. The procedures that are involved in greeting and seating guests are as follows: acknowledging and welcoming guest, checking guest reservation, and asking about special need, handling difficult situations, arranging seating capacities, leading guest to the table, helping the guest while seating, performing procedures before leaving the table. Procedure number 1. Acknowledge and welcome guest. To make guest feel welcome and important, whenever any guest arrives, it is the responsibility of the service staff to approach and meet the guest with a smile, maintaining eye contact and greet the guest accordingly at the door. In fine dining, guests are generally welcomed by hosts or hostess or maybe even by the owner, but in normal cases, a server or waiter or waitress may be the first person to acknowledge and welcome guest. Each and every employee should have the training to greet a guest. The employee who greets the guest should use very brief but welcoming phrase to greet guest. Must remember, ladies should be greeted first. Procedure number 2. Check guest reservation and ask about special need. To be ensured whether guests have any reservation or booking, ask guest politely, do you have any reservation? If the answer is yes, then ask for guest's name by saying, may I have your name please? Check your reservation book, and repeat the reservation back to guest. If there is one guest who comes without reservation, then instead of saying are you alone, sir, you could ask table for one person. If you have enough free table, then ask, do you have any preference, sir, like sitting in a smoking or non-smoking area? Ask about special need. For example, if there is a child in the group, then ask guest whether the baby needs any high chair or not. Procedure number 3. Handle difficult situation. Here is an example of a difficult situation. A guest or group of guests may come without any reservation. In that case, the host could say, please allow me few seconds, sir. Let me check if there is any table available or not. Now, if there is free table, then the host could easily make guest seated there. But what does happen if all tables are occupied? If none available, then you have to handle the situation tactfully. If you have bar facilities, then you may say, sir, I am very sorry. All the tables are occupied. Would you mind wait in our bar or in the lobby so that I can call you as soon as any of the table is free? In such way, you just prevent your restaurant from losing a very potential guest, and also promoting the revenue of bar or any other business. Procedure number 4. How to arrange seating capacities. Allocate tables according to the number of guests or size of the party. Young couples tend to choose corner or near window to a romantic moment. Elderly or disabled guests should be seated near entrance, so that he or she would not need to walk much. Loud, noisy parties could be arranged in private rooms, or at least in the back, so that other guests don't feel discomfort. Above all, if guests wish to get seated in particular areas, and if situation permits, then try your best to offer that. Procedure number 5. Lead guest to the table. Do not walk too fast. Maintain very small distance, not more than 1 meter away from guest, and look back at the guest rapidly. While you would reach the table, say, "Will this table be all right for you, sir?" Maintain eye contact throughout, keep smiling, and escort the guest to the table. Show the way by walking in front of the guest. Procedure number 6. Help the guest while seating. In a courteous manner, pull the chair out, so that there would be just enough space for the guest to enter. Lady guest should be seated first, with best view of the restaurant, then the gentleman. Helping lady guest to be seated, stand behind the chair, push with 2 hands on the chair shoulder, and keep the right toe at the base of the chair, so that guest can sit comfortably. Help the good to get into 4 high chairs. Procedure number 7. Before leaving the table. At this stage, the greeter should leave the table, and return to the reception desk, to welcome and continue seating procedure for other guests. Server may be busy in other table. Before leaving the table, greeters should let the guest know that server has been informed and will come very shortly. A very good gesture from a server should be come to the table and say, "I am very sorry madam, we are very busy at the moment. I will be with you in minutes." Prior to leaving the table, wish the guest. At this stage, server will take over the table to complete next steps. Final remarks. Be friendly, but very polite and courteous, all the time. Always, speak with a clear and confident tone. Keep smiling throughout, so that guests feel comfortable. Instead of keep saying sir or madam, all the time, address guests by their name, at least twice in the whole conversation. Guest with reservation should always be given more preference than walk-in guests.